How we doing, guys? Moose here, back for episode 33 of our West Ham United career mode as we inch closer and closer to the end of the transfer window. We're now on the 18th of August, getting closer to that August 31st deadline. We decide finally to reject the loan offer for Rodriguez from Queens Park Ranger, hoping that maybe somebody else would come in for him, which we'll see how that goes as the transfer window progresses. If not, we'll have him for our cup team and everything of that nature. So we then decide to offer Thiago Cairo, our Portuguese left midfielder, winger type, this is where he looks positionally, contract to come up to the first team and get some action. We also put in a bid because you guys had said in a few comments that we were looking low on strikers the way the lineup come out, especially with injuries and whatnot. And then when Valencia got hurt, I know it was only an 8-day injury, but it really impressed upon me the need to bring in another striker. So I decided to inquire about Connor Wickham because he's on Sunderland. He just got relegated. I'm sure he'd love to come back to the Premier League. They only want $4.7 million for him, which is a great, not bad deal, even if we could get him for even less than that. But we don't have that funds right now. We're only looking at about $1.5 million, maybe a little bit more depending on where you put the wage budget at. So I decided to ask for $5 million. They rejected it, came back for $4.5 million, and they said they'd give me $3.17 million, which was a huge chunk of change, to be honest, because they usually never give you the whole thing. So to get 3.1 out of that, I was pretty happy with. From that money, we decide, hey, let's ask for $3.5 million, and we'll take Connor Wickham straight from Sunderland. It's a cut rate deal. It'd be huge for us if we get such a quality player at that kind of price. We then see Thiago has accepted his contract, so that's fantastic. So hopefully we'll either send him out on loan or see him in the squad, same as Rodriguez, in our cup matches. I don't know if I showed his ratings in the episode here, but I did take a look at him, and he was a 69 overall, and just I think has shown great potential, if I remember correctly, which indicates a potential range of about 85. I know it said he was supposed to be 86 to 92, so hopefully that's not correct, and he does bump up even higher than that. So we'll see. We use yet another different lineup here. Andy Carroll in the line, Valencia and Oxlade-Chamberlain, Delph, Downing, and Chiate in the midfield, Cresswell, Tompkins, Nkulu, and Jenkinson on the back line, and the hero of the FA Cup, Adrian. I'll tell you what, I'm recording this actually just after watching the West Ham United Everton FA Cup replay, and what a game that was. I'll tell you what, it had me on the edge of my seat. I'm surprised I have a voice at this point with all the yelling going on watching a game. It was just absurd, and Adrian, of course, hitting the winning penalty after his opposing keeper, Joel, had smashed his off the underside of the bar and missed. So fantastic for us to go through. Really, really happy, obviously, as a West Ham fan. It's wonderful. And hopefully we can replicate that form here in this career. Oxlade-Chamberlain showing his pace out on the wing, floats the ball in towards Andy Carroll, who does have a good chance there. He turns and it's deflected away by Olsen to force a corner. From that corner, Downing steps out to whip it in, floats it over the top of the first defender, in towards the head of Valencia. He lays it back off towards Aaron Cresswell, hits it on the half volley and just smashes over the bar. He did hit it on his weaker foot. Looking for another replica of that Everton goal he scored last season. That's really what all his long-range strikes are going to be compared to, I think, at this point. But he's unable to score on that one. Chiate then with a chance for himself as he had the ball laid off to him, decides to smash it from about 25 yards. And another good save by the keeper, Ben Foster. We float in the corner here, eventually finds way to Fabian Delph, who hits the ball on the half volley again. That's really the kind of chances we're having to create. We don't really have anything in the 6-yard box area, even in the penalty area, too much, with the exception of some half volleys and then some shots from distance. That's really all we've been able to do thus far. Valencia on the ensuing corner then was able to head the ball back. No one home, and we're not able to create anything. Into the 37th minute, though, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain uses pace to get inside of Pocagnoli, completely gets around him, wrong side of the defender, and Pocagnoli rashly dives in, forcing a penalty, which allows Andy Carroll to step up and try and give us a 1-0 lead. Comes up, goes for the top right corner, and Ben Foster actually tips it onto the bar, and it hits the bar and comes back out the other side. Unbelievable turn of events that we're unable to score. But Oxlade-Chamberlain then, minutes into the second half, plays the ball into Andy Carroll from a wide position. And Carroll, second time's the charm. It squeaks through the legs of Ben Foster. He arguably should have done better as he gets nutmegged essentially. As Oxlade-Chamberlain floats across in. It falls right to the foot of Carroll. He just volleys it, cushions it, doesn't try to hit with power. He just side foots it eventually goes right through the legs of Foster, hits off his backside, and just squibs across the goal line to give us a 1-0 advantage. So Carroll does get on the score sheet, and that's kind of the pain that you see when we do set up the team like this. Oxlade-Chamberlain, yes, he did get on the ball a lot, but when we set up kind of in a 4-3-3 formation with wingers and Carroll up top, it really puts the emphasis on balls into the box for the head of Andy Carroll, or the feet, which he scored with there. But really, it kind of takes away some of the dynamic play that I think we have when we do work that diamond midfield. So we'll see if we do stick with it any further into the season. But it did create a nice chance. It did give us a goal, of course, and gives us the 1-0 lead. Delph then trying to make it 2-0 with a great chance as he whips a shot with his right foot into the top left corner, but Ben Foster is able to make a fantastic save. Then from the ensuing corner, Mark Noble trying to create something. He tells the players, get in the box, create a little bit of havoc, floats it in, looking for Carroll. It's headed just over the top of the bar and into the roof of the, or onto the roof of the net, I should say. But that would be all she wrote. It was a pretty simple game, not a ton of chances for West Brom. We really pretty much dominated from start to finish and were able to get the victory that we did deserve despite not putting away a ton of our chances. And that's what we've really seen at this point. It's been a lot tougher to get goals, and we probably could chalk that up to different formations, having to, find a little bit of cohesion and chemistry between the team. But as you can see, we had 6 shots on target to their 1 possession, relatively even, as we kind of did play on the counter. But we didn't get a ton of quality chances, is really what we need to improve here. Basically, the Moose 3 stars for the game. Aaron Cresswell gets 1 point, Cheku Kiate picks up 2, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who really showed his influence on the game, is able to pick up 3. Did get the assist, obviously, on the Carroll goal. He also won the penalty that should have been another goal for us. And that was really how it'll go. But Valencia, you can see, picked up an 8-day injury. We also get an offer for Leo Chambers, which we'll go over in a second. And we get Sunderland have accepted that $3.5 million, or £1 million, offer for Connor Wickham, which is unbelievable. I was over the moon that they accepted that. 30 grand a week, not a ton of money, which is fantastic for us. And then we see Arsenal come in for Chambers, actually offering about 5 times his value, and I would have went for the offer, to be honest, because he probably doesn't have a ton of future. But with Burke out on loan, if we lose 1 or 2 center backs to injury, then we're kind of behind the 8 ball there as well. So I decided not to do that, and just offered back $2.5 million. If they wanted to come back with that, go ahead. They decide they don't, and then Wickham does not accept his first contract offer. He wants a bigger role in the squad, so I switch him from squad rotation to important first-team player. And bang, Connor Wickham accepts, and he's in the team. He's actually in the squad for our next game, final game of the episode here at Crystal Palace, back at the Boleyn, where, if you check out my Twitter account, obviously you'll see some fantastic retweets of scenes from the Boleyn when we won today. It's unbelievable, and I can't talk about it enough because it was just a great game and fun to watch. Obviously, it's nearly a heartbreaker until Carlton Cole scored that goal in about the 116th minute to level things back up, and then we did win, of course, in the penalty shootout. So much fun. I love talking about it. I'd love to talk actually regular football if anybody ever was interested, to be honest. It's a great thing, real big passion, so it's a lot of fun. But we come out against a tough Crystal Palace side, obviously managed by Alan Pardew in real life now, so we'll kind of say that they're managed by Pardew now, because they're around a 4-2-3-1, similar to what Newcastle also runs in this game here. So we can act as if Pardew came into the team, and then we actually came out in our normal 4-4-2 diamond midfield formation, but we have Sacco playing up top, so a little bit different. Wickham not starting. We decided to give Sacco and Enner Valencia are actually together up top. Carroll getting a rest after Carroll isn't live, excuse me. I'm actually a couple games ahead, 1 or 2 games ahead as I record this, so I forgot who I put in the starting line for this game. But you can see Oxlade-Chamberlain showing the influence that he has at this moment in time. Unbelievable. He used a little step over, a little body feint to get around a defender, then used his pace to skip around 2 more and unleashes a shot that is blocked, unfortunately, but he just shows what kind of ability he has, even ranging from central midfield, which is where he's playing in this game. So fantastic there. And then the hero of the penalty shootout, Adrian, with a fantastic save in the 36th minute here against Crystal Palace to keep things level. Fabian Delph, you can see he's picked up a knock, but he said he's okay to continue, so we've let him play on because I didn't want to make a first half substitution. We'll see if that'll be able to pay off as we get further into the game. We float the ball and looking for the head of Carroll. It eventually finds his way back to Delph. He hits it on his right foot, and he is unable to beat the Crystal Palace goalkeeper. But in the 60th minute now, we're continuing to create chances, and that is the nice thing you can see about our team right now, is that we are creating chances, which is a positive for us right now. Ball into Carroll, unable to get it. Delph with a strike, and another great save by the Crystal Palace keeper. We're doing really well. We're playing well on the counterattack. I think that's the new thing that we can really focus on this year, is we do have a lot more pace in the lineup. Obviously, before we were running just Valencia and Sacco up top with Downing, that we had kind of a triumvirate up top that had a ton of pace. But now that we have, you know, Sacco, Valencia, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Delph has very, very good sprint speed, as well as Downing and or Morrison up top. We have so much ability to come forward on the counter like we do here. Ball played forward. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain floats it to the top of the 18-yard box. Morrison lays it off, and Fabian Delph with the goal of the season candidate in just our 3rd game. What an absolute stunner that is from the England and former Aston Villa midfielder. On his left peg, he just smashes it past the goalkeeper. I don't think anyone expected him to hit it with such ferocity or accuracy. Morrison does really well to just lay that header back into his path, and he hits it on the half volley. It is unbelievable. Look at the strike. He just lashes his laces right into the ball and puts it exactly where he wants to. Carroll ducking to get out of the way. Could you imagine if he blocked that shot? But what an absolute stunner to give us a 1-0 lead. So we aren't getting as many goals as we like, but when we do get them, they do seem to be highlight reels. Of course, Carroll on that little volley in the last game, and then Fabian Delph with a wonder goal in the 74th minute here in this game to give us the lead. Oxlade-Chamberlain then creating more chances. Beautiful little fake shot, and ball skills to get around a couple men, but his finesse shot goes just inches wide of the post. We then bring on James Tompkins for Fabian Delph, but that would be all she wrote, because Kiyate would create the final chance of the game. Comes away to Carroll, and the referee blows the full-time whistle. So another 1-0 victory that we do eke out. Well-deserved, as we outplayed Crystal Palace and pick up the victory on Fabian Delph's wonder goal. And because of that, you can see your Moose's mighty hammers of the game. Oxlade-Chamberlain getting 1 point in the voting. Jenkinson picks up 2 points, and Fabian Delph, the man of the match through me, because I thought he really had his best game. He honestly could have deserved points in the last game, but he gets it in this game. Played unbelievable and deserves the 3 points for picking up the winner for us as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Next episode, we will finish up the transfer window and get cracking on to the rest of the season. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and continue watching if you are enjoying the career mode. And we will see you in episode 34, guys. Bye-bye.